Good morning, students. In the last class, we had studied the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction and we had also studied Faraday's law. What is electromagnetic induction? Whenever there is change in magnetic flux linked with a circuit, an EMF is induced in it. And the magnitude of induced EMF is given by Faraday's law as E is equals to minus d phi b upon dt. E stands for the induced EMF. D phi b upon dt stands for rate of change of magnetic flux. The negative sign simply shows that the induced EMF opposes the change in magnetic flux. Today we shall study a phenomenon called as self-induction. So to study this phenomenon, we shall take a very simple circuit shown here. This is a coil connected in series with a battery BA and a tap key K. We want to now induce EMF in the coil. So if you want to induce EMF in the coil, you have to change the flux linked with the coil. So how this is done? Now what happens when the key K is pressed and released? Let us take the first case when the key K is pressed. So if the key is pressed, then what happens? Circuit will be closed. Therefore current increases from its initial value 0 to the maximum value in certain time. So current increases. If the current increases, then the magnetic flux linked with the coil also increases from 0 to its maximum value. Increases means what? There is change in magnetic flux, and whenever there is change in magnetic flux, what is induced in the coil? An EMF will be induced in the coil. So this is when the key K is pressed. What happens when the key is released? When the key is released, what will happen? The current in the coil decreases from its maximum value to 0 in certain time. If the current decreases, then the flux linked with the coil also decreases from maximum to 0. Decreases means there is change in flux, and whenever there is change in flux, what is induced in the coil? An EMF is induced in the coil. So what do you understand by this experiment? You can change the flux linked with the coil by changing the current. If you change the current, flux will change. And if the flux changes, what is induced in the coil? An EMF is induced in the coil. So you are inducing EMF in the coil by changing the current. And this phenomenon, we call it as self-induction. So how to put in words? It is a phenomenon in which an EMF is induced in the coil due to change of current in the coil itself. So this phenomenon we call it as self-induction. Now we shall define a constant L. It is called as coefficient of self-induction, or also you can call it as self-inductance. So let us define self-inductance of a coil. So just now we have seen here, if the current increases, flux increases, current decreases, flux also decreases. What is the meaning? The magnetic flux is directly proportional to the current. Now what is magnetic flux linked with the coil? This coil has got a number of turns. Let us say it has got n turns. And the flux linked with each turn, let us denote by the letter phi b. Phi b is a flux linked with each turn. Therefore for n turns, what will be the total magnetic flux? N times phi b. So this magnetic flux is proportional to I. Put a constant there, we shall call it as L. L is a constant. So N phi b is equals to Li, where L stands for the self-inductance. Now let us use Faraday's law. E is equals to minus d phi b by dt. So what is phi b now for the coil? Phi b is replaced by what? N times phi b, because there are n turns here. So instead of phi b, we shall write it as n times phi b. So E induced EMF E is equals to minus d by dt of n times phi b. But what is n times phi b? It is equals to L into I. So let us put it as L into I. So here what is constant? L is a constant. Let us take it outside. So minus L into di by dt. So the EMF induced in the coils is equals to minus L di by dt. E is the induced EMF. L is the self-inductance of the coil. Di by dt, rate of change of current. Now using this equation, we shall define the term self-inductance. So henceforth, we shall drop out the negative sign. That is, we shall take only the magnitude of the induced EMF. So let us put di by dt equals to 1. What is the meaning? The rate of change of current is unity, or there is unit rate of change of current. If there is unit rate of change of current, if di by dt value is 1, then you will get E is equals to L numerically, dropping out the negative sign. So E is equals to L when di by dt is equals to 1. So this will define the term self-inductance. What is the meaning? Self-inductance is the induced EMF when there is unit rate of change of current. So let us put in proper words. Self-inductance is the EMF induced due to unit rate of change of current. So this is about self-inductance. Now let us try to find out the SI unit of self-inductance. It is a scalar quantity and the SI unit is named after the physicist Joseph Henry as Henry. Henry is the SI unit of self-inductance and it is denoted by the letter capital H. Now in this equation we shall put all the units in the SI system. If E is equals to 1 volt, rate of change of current di by dt is 1 ampere per second. I is current in amperes, T is in seconds, so it is 1 ampere per second. So this value is 1 volt, this is 1 ampere per second. Then L will be equals to 1 Henry. So how will you define 1 Henry? When is the self-inductance said to be 1 Henry? Self-inductance is said to be 1 Henry if 1 volt of EMF is induced in the coil when the rate of change of current is 1 ampere per second. So we have covered 3 important points here. First one, we have defined self-induction, then we have defined self-inductance, and we have defined 1 Henry. So let us revise the 3 points once again. What is self-induction? It is a phenomenon in which an EMF is induced in the coil due to change of current in the coil itself. What is self-inductance? Self-inductance of a coil is the EMF induced in it due to unit rate of change of current. And when is the self-inductance said to be 1 Henry? Self-inductance is said to be 1 Henry if 1 volt of EMF is induced in it when the rate of change of current is 1 ampere per second. Now with these points in mind, we shall go now to the next derivation. That is, we shall derive an expression for self-inductance of a coil. Now we shall derive an expression for inductance of a solenoid, that is capital L. Solenoid means coil. So just now we had seen the flux linked with a coil or a solenoid is equals to L into I, where L is self-inductance of the coil. So we shall be using this equation now. So what is a solenoid? It is just a coil of a number of turns of conducting wire. Inside the solenoid, let us say there is an air medium. So it is an air core solenoid. Let us say L is length of the solenoid. Total number of turns in the solenoid are capital N, and area of cross section of the solenoid, that is area of each turn, is nothing but capital A. Now we shall define small n, that is number of turns per unit length. How to define number of turns per unit length? Total number of turns divided by the length. So number of turns per unit length will be nothing but n divided by L. N turns are there in length L. Therefore number of turns per unit length is n upon L. If you cross multiply, n will be equals to small n into L. Now let us pass a current I through the solenoid. So whenever you pass current through any conductor, magnetic field is produced. So here also a magnetic field is produced inside the solenoid, and this magnetic field produced inside the solenoid is given as mu 0 Ni. This equation you will be deriving in the 4th chapter, that is magnetism and matter. So we are using this directly now, that is magnetic field inside the solenoid is given as mu 0 Ni. What are the various terms in this equation? Mu 0 is nothing but the permeability of the free space, that is air medium. So I have written it here. Mu 0 is permeability of free space, constant. Then N is number of turns per unit length, and I is the current through the solenoid. So this is the magnetic field produced due to the current I in the solenoid. How does this magnetic field act? Suppose this is the area of the each turn. Suppose this is the area of the turn. Then the magnetic field is perpendicular to the area A. So B is perpendicular to the area of cross section A. So whenever magnetic field is perpendicular to area, then the flux linked with that area is given as B into A. This we have seen in the earlier sessions also. So magnetic flux linked with each turn of the coil is given as phi B, and it is equals to B into A. Now put the value of B. What is the value of B? Mu 0 Ni. So mu 0 Ni into A. So this is flux linked with one turn of the coil. How many turns are there in the coil? There are n turns are there. So what is the total flux linked with the whole coil? For one turn the flux linked is phi B. Therefore for n turns the flux linked will be n times phi B. Now here put the value of n and phi B. Capital N is equals to small n into L. So I have written it as NL, and phi B is nothing but mu 0 Nia. If you simplify this, n into n, you will get it as n square. So it is mu 0 n square Lia. Let us call this as equation 1. Also we have seen flux linked is equals to Li. Let us call this as equation 2. Both are for n phi B. So you can very easily equate equations 1 and 2. If you equate equations 1 and 2, you will get Li is equals to mu 0 n square Lia. What is common on both sides? I is common, gets cancelled. So you are left with L is equals to mu 0 n square L into A. This is an equation for inductance of a solenoid when air medium is present inside the solenoid. What are the various terms here? Mu 0 is permeability of the air medium, N is number of turns per unit length, L is length of the solenoid, A is area of the solenoid. Suppose this coil is wound on a magnetic rod of permeability mu r. Any other medium magnetic material is present inside the solenoid. Suppose for that medium relative permeability we shall call it as mu r. Then you have to make one change here. Instead of mu 0, you have to write it as mu r mu 0. For what medium? For any other medium inside the solenoid. For air medium you write it as only as mu 0. But if any other magnetic material is present inside the solenoid, for that medium we should write it as mu r into mu 0. So in general L will be nothing but mu r mu 0 n square La. Mu r is called as relative permeability of the medium. Mu 0 is permeability of free space. N is number of turns per unit length, L is length of the solenoid, and A is area of cross section. So this is final equation for the inductance of a solenoid. If you observe that equations, you can tell me what are the factors on which L depends. So L depends upon the permeability of the medium. So L depends upon permeability of the medium. It also depends upon NLA. What are NLA? N is number of turns per unit length, L is length of the solenoid, A is area of cross section. So it depends upon the design of the coil, that is number of turns, length and area of cross section. All this we shall call it as geometry of the coil. So it depends upon the geometry of the coil and it depends upon the permeability of the medium. These are the two main factors on which the self-inductance depends. So this question is asked in your exam for 2 marks. What are the factors on which self-inductance depends? In particular, they have asked this question also. How does self-inductance depend upon the number of turns in the coil? So what will you find out here? The self-inductance is directly proportional to square of the number of turns in the solenoid. So 2 points we have considered today. First, we have derived an expression for inductance of a solenoid. And then we have considered the factors on which inductance of a solenoid depends. What are the steps in the derivation? You have to find out what is the flux linked with the whole solenoid and then equate it to Li. Simplify, you will get this equation. This is for air medium mu 0. For any other medium, write it as mu r into mu 0. So these are the steps for deriving the expression for inductance of a solenoid. And what are the factors on which inductance depends? It depends mainly on 2 factors. It depends upon the geometry of the coil and the permeability of the medium. So this is regarding the inductance of a solenoid. So this is all for today's session. Thank you.